day all. In recent years, tensions in South Africa have been rising to a point that can either lead to genocide or a civil war where many will lose their lives and livelihood. Most families would be broken and there would not be enough space in all the graveyards throughout the country to accommodate the number of dead that will be the result. To ensure that peace remain between the people of South Africa, we will be making a proposal here that many would find acceptable while others will reject it outright, as every person in South Africa would be affected in one way or another. The reason for the proposal is that the leftists call for murder and land expropriation that will lead to civil war, while the right does very little out in the view of the public. But the reason for the proposal is to limit the loss of life between black and white in your country. Because some are so focused on hate for the other as it could boil over at any time. The rest of the world will just look on as the current residents of the country destroy all that has been built over many lifetimes. The proposal goes as follows. It is hereby proposed that the current country that is known as the Republic of South Africa be divided between the two factions involved according to stature before the 1820 settler movements. According to written records, the Boers, tired of the oppression from the controlling body in the Cape Colony, moved inland away from what is now known as the Cape Town district. It was only after months of traveling through wild land with no signs of human life that these settlers eventually came across the first of many Bantustans. Trade commenced and land exchanged hands. So to establish the regions that can make up the borders and boundaries of the two new separated countries, we need to determine the land exchanges through treaties and signed contracts. But the proposal is that the new boundaries of these two separate countries are already drawn by using the current provincial boundaries that have been established by the current governing party, the African National Congress. The new provinces were a contentious issue when it was established in the 90s. But these boundaries will suit the needs of the proposal. The current country consists of 9 provinces, namely Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Northwest, Free State, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape and the Western Cape. As per records, most interaction by the early settlers with the Bantu tribes of Africa happened in the provinces that we now call Limpopo, Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. These provinces will make up the new country of Azania. This is the name that was thrown around in the 90s and the early 2000s. The other provinces will become the new country by the name of the Republic of Southern Africa. These two states will be separated by some form of physical boundaries and need patrolled by each government's military patrols to ensure no illegal movements of people. In Azania, all the Bantu people can have their homes and farms to their heart content and do whatever they want. To the south, the white South Africans with the First Nation, the Khoisan, can build the new country of Southern Africa. Since most of the surface of this new country consists of semi-desert area, a big part of the Northern Cape is also semi-desert and of little use to farming purposes to sustain the population without mechanization. Each of the two countries will be responsible for the well-being of their own populations and wealth. Once this proposal is accepted to avoid the loss of life on both sides, the exodus from each country can be arranged with all the Bantu people moving to Azania and all the white and Khoisan people move to the new republic. This need to happen in an organized fashion, to avoid conflict between the separate people. It will be up to the two new governments to grant safe passage to those that are on the move to relocate to their respective new countries. No criminal activities should be tolerated by any local or migrant. A period of at least 3 months should be granted by both governments to complete the move from one country to another without hindrance before the borders are closed, so that each country can rebuild their own infrastructure. Standard cross-border as per the United Nations international rules and regulations for cross-border movement should be adhered to by all citizens of the two new countries. Only once the governments have put their own houses in order, and formal trade between these two countries be established. All human rights should be respected as per the Geneva Convention. End of proposal. It might seem impractical to some to divide up a country to accommodate rival factions, but it has been done in the past in some parts of the world. This will resolve the land issue that are currently causing so much uncertainty, as well as save lives of thousands if not millions of people. Each country will maintain their own infrastructure, and where common infrastructures are to be shared, agreements need to be made before the total separation of the two entities. Losing life because of ideologies is a waste of life that can do great things later in their existence. We should look for solutions to our problems and stop blaming each other for what goes wrong in the country. This proposal is one option to bring an end to the enragement of both sides. Why is Gauteng included in the land allocated to the new republic? Since the Bantu people want to decolonize their land, and cities like Johannesburg and Pretoria are the epitome of colonial wealth and structures, we would not like to see these structures destroyed by others than those that inspired and built them. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos.